Tea Squad, it's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Season 7, Episode 10, a review of Real Housewives of Miami. This week's episode was really good, and do not forget that another episode airs tonight, so you'll get another review from me tomorrow. So, the trip to Seville, I forgot how they pronounced it, begins, and I want to know, why is this trip for Alexia? If y'all going to coin the cast trip as being a dedication to a cast member, why would it not be Gertie? She literally was fighting for her life. But the trip is for Alexia to get over Todd and not talk about him, but even on a trip, y'all gonna find out that she back to wearing her ring and she ain't going nowhere. The priorities are just all over the place. Literally all over the place. And I just do not understand what is going on with these women and why they have such disregard for Gertie and everything that she has gone through and is going through at the current time. But Stephanie, Larsa, Julia, and Adriana take her charter plane or whatever, her jet plane or whatever, to Seville together. The other ladies are flying commercial, but of course Lisa does not arrive on time and misses her flight and has to take a later flight. So the girls are upset with her because she hasn't called and said anything to anybody. She didn't say that, hey, I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna take this later flight. So they're pretty much upset with her, the other girls. So I can't remember who it was, but one of the girls asked Stephanie why she and Alexia were arguing at Marisol's little preppy party that she had. And Stephanie says, you know, you try to belittle me, you try to belittle women to try and make yourself feel better. And Julia, you know, she got to stick up for her new bestie, was like, if you feel like she belittles you, maybe stick to the point without saying she belittles other women, because I don't think that she belittles other women. And it's like, okay, you don't think that, but she thinks that. And you can't invalidate her feelings just because you all on Alexia's dick now. Let's not act like Alexia is not a mean girl. Alexia don't like nobody that A, challenges her, and that B, is doing better than her. She's going to have a problem with you, and she does try to belittle you and say little slick shit. So Adriana looked at her and was like, you didn't see her belittling me for 2 straight years? Like, really, girl? And here go Julie. Why are you going to the past? Alexia right now can't take a joke. She just cannot take a joke right now. And it's like, okay, who gives a fuck if Alexia can't take a joke? Alexia ain't going through nothing that is so horrific in her life that the world is gonna fall down around her if somebody take a dig or a joke at her. Only thing she going through is with a man that is playing her like a fiddle. Girl, bye. And once again, Adriana is looking at her like, who are you right now? Like, really, what is going on with you? Because you are just negating everything that has gone on over the past few years, how she's treated you. She called you a Russian whore, and things she said about me. Like, girl, get out of here. So when the girls get to Seville, of course, they get there before the commercial flight girls. And Stephanie learns as soon as she gets there that Masood upgraded her room to a presidential suite. So the girls go up to her room and he has it decorated with flowers everywhere. He got her some Chanel gifts because her birthday had just passed and she turned 40. So she was like, oh my God, my husband. Oh my God. You know, and I can't even be mad at her. You know, flex on these hoes. If you got it, you got it. But, you know, the video I did on her last week, I don't know if they got it like that. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't check out that video, make sure you do, where I spilled the tea on her and Masood and their lawsuits and things that they got going on. After they get themselves together and get dressed and everything, they go down to the bar at the hotel. And Stephanie tells them that she feels like Alexia has a Napoleon complex and has self-esteem issues. I I don't know if it's a Napoleon complex. What I do think is that she has a very jealous spirit about her. She wants to be the it girl. She wants to be the queen bee of the group because I guess in her circle of people growing up, she probably was that. Because we're not going to sit up here in front like Alexia is not a pretty woman. She's very pretty, especially back in her younger days. She literally was a Cuban Barbie. And I think that she kind of let that go to her head with the men that she has dated and married and all of those things. But it's like, girl, you can't be the center of attention everywhere that you go. You know, I think that she has a problem with competition. So, Alexia and the girls literally walk in as they're having this conversation. So you know how you walk into a room and you see kind of like people acting weird, which lets them know that somebody was just being talked about. But everybody speak to everybody, and Julia, as soon as she sees Alexia goes up to Alexia and was like, "We were talking about you. Have a drink first." And it was like, damn, bitch, can she get through the door before you go and run and tell her what y'all been talking about? And it was have a drink first, like to brace yourself for what was being said. So you knew that she was going to reveal what Stephanie had been saying about Alexia. When in all honesty, she should have just stayed out of it and been neutral, right? But, Alexia is her new bestie. She want to kiss her ass. So Alexia was like, I don't care. They can all fuck off. I told you not to talk about me. And so Julie was like, I wasn't talking about you. I didn't talk about you. Because now she's scared. Because she like, oh my God, now Alexia about to be mad at me. She see really quickly that she done fucked up. Now, mind you, Stephanie is sitting right there. So she overhears the fact that Julia is running back to tell her that they was just talking about her. Adriana heard it too. So I'm pretty sure Larsa had to hear it as well. So Adriana in her confession was like, it's like she's become Alexia's little bitch. And she really honestly has. It's so disgusting. So the girls then go to their room to get changed and everything, and Julia goes with them. And Stephanie tells Adriana and Larsa, like, I'm pissed. Julia didn't even give her the opportunity to go to Alexia and tell her how she felt on her own. Like, it wasn't your place. So Julia returns and Stephanie immediately confronts her and was like, why are you stirring the pot? Why are you running back and telling her what I said? Like, damn. She was like, I thought we were better than that. Like, what's the tea? And so she was like, oh, I did not do anything. I was not trying to, stir the pot. I wasn't doing any of that thing. So Stephanie was like, stir away, because I have a big effing spoon bee and I'll be stirring all fucking trip. Like, if you want it, I got it. Okay. Like, you want to play? Let's play. And Julia was like, Stephanie, I like you, but stop the attitude, please. And Stephanie was like, I like you too, but you didn't have to go back and tell her. Now, here's my thing. Does she have a closer relationship with Alexia than she does Stephanie? Obviously, right? But you are building a rapport with Stephanie and you have this newly formed friendship with Alexia. In this case, I would have just stayed out of it, or I would have waited until later if it hadn't came up and been like, Steph, do you want to fill Alexia in on what was being said earlier? Because I feel like there's a conversation that needs to be had. Because with Julia and Alexia, if it came back to Alexia that Julia was sitting around while Stephanie was talking about her and didn't come back and tell her, she was going to get mad at Julia and it was going to be an issue, right? So that's how I would have handled it. But for just to run up to her as soon as she entered the building, it was like, girl, calm down. Like, ugh. Gross. Like, calm down, Julia. So now Stephanie is looking at her sideways because she was really gracious to the girls when she flew them out on her plane. She gave them gifts, she gave them pajamas, and she even let Larsa and Julia sleep in her queen size bed while she lay in the little slim, it wasn't even a twin bed. It was like a little slim, little cot size bed on her plane with Adriana, and Adriana actually said on the after show that Stephanie didn't even end up sleeping on that with her. She ended up just sitting up in her seat the whole flight. The whole flight. And that's why she was even more upset with Julia, because she was like, I went out of my way to make sure you was straight, and then you immediately switch on me and just go run and tell her everything that I said. Like, damn, like, okay. Now, I wouldn't, if I was Stephanie, I wouldn't have been shocked though that Julia was going to go back and tell Alexia. I wouldn't have been shocked at all, because you're on a reality show and this is how women behave. You know what I'm saying? So I would have just came at it like, if I'm going to talk ish, I got to be prepared for any of them to run back and tell her, and I'm going to stand on business or I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So at dinner, oh my God, y'all, this was so cringy and funny. They go to dinner and this man that looked like Fabio with this long ponytail come to the table talking about he got a song from his heart that he wrote to Alexia about love and heartbreak and stuff. So he get to singing, and I'm like, I know you lying. I know you lied. This is not happening. This is not happening. That man was sitting up there like, Te quiero mucho, mi corazón, mi corazón. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Ay, dolce vita, cheddar cheese, vida loca, la vida loca. And then these two idiots, Alexia and Marisol, sitting there. You better sing. Oh, God. Todd! Todd! Oh, Lord, why you don't love me? Why you don't love me, Jesus? Oh, Lord. Ooh. Ooh. And then Marisol sitting up there like the lady from the Five Heartbeats. She all writhing like, ooh, shit. I ain't never had nobody sing to me like this before. Ooh, Jesus. He making me cry up here and down there. Baby, it was so cringy. The other girls was over there stifling laughs because it was so over the top. And he sounded a mess. He sounded a fucking mess. It was so cringy. So that man get done performing, child, and I couldn't wait for him to get his ass out of there. Marisol and Alexia and Julia get to talking about how they don't like the fact that Lisa didn't check in with them to let them know that she was okay, that, you know, she was having to take a plane, train, and an automobile just to get there. And they're talking about how she's inconsiderate of the other girls and how she don't care about them and how she's always late and stuff like that. And I mean, I can understand them feeling some type of way about her not checking in with them and saying, hey, I'm okay. You know, I'm on my way or whatever. But I wouldn't, okay, she always late. Okay, she always late. She gonna get left. That's just what it is. I wouldn't even care. Like, that's what you get. This was her punishment. You were late to catch your flight, so you ended up having to take a later flight. And that later flight, you had to go from Miami, then she had to go to New York to like London, and then London to Seville. Then when she got to the one place, she had to take a train all the way down to Seville. That's what you get. And then she had to do it all by herself with nobody to help her with all of her luggage, and was by herself. I don't know why there wasn't a camera crew with her. So obviously she didn't have anybody with her. Like, she was literally by herself, navigating herself through all of these foreign countries. And that was what you get. I bet you won't be late no more. And if you are late, you're going to have to go through that again. So I didn't even understand why they cared so much. I mean, she a grown woman. Let her be late. She late, we leaving. Period. Marisol then says, when we first arrived, did you feel a weird energy? And Larsa was like, it wasn't a weird vibe. Steph was saying she wanted to get to know you. It wasn't in a mean-spirited way. She wanted to talk to you and get it off her chest. It wasn't a mean-spirited way. Stop. It was very much in a mean-spirited way. She felt some type of way and she was going in on Alexia. Let's not play those types of games. So Alexia was like, I feel like you tried to get to know the rest of the girls, but me, you judge from day one. And that's the real true tea. The way she came at her about Todd was totally inappropriate and unacceptable. So Stephanie was like, that's not true. Ma'am, it is. So Alexia was like, how can you accuse me of belittling women to make myself feel better about myself? You're new in the group, but no matter what, all of these girls have been by my side for years. So you're not going to come into the group and try to change the dynamics and make me look and seem like somebody I'm not. And this goes back to exactly what I was saying. She want to be numero uno. She want to be the queen bee of the group. And anybody that comes in that could possibly challenge that, she has a problem with. Because what was the point of you saying these girls, they've known me for years. Basically, they gonna always have my back over yours. That's basically all it was her grandstanding. And girl, don't nobody care. Nobody care. Because that's all you got is these girls, child. Stephanie was just sitting there deadpan in the face, just looking at her, waiting for her to stop. Like, I don't even think she blinked the whole time. I don't think she was breathing or nothing. So Stephanie was like, okay, so you're not going to tell me what dynamics I am or am not going to change. That's A. B, I'm so sorry that you were offended. Sometimes the truth hurts. And I was like, okay, all right. We got something here. We got something here, honey. Okay, let her cook. So Alexia was really thrown off. So Alexia was like, who do you think you are? And Stephanie said, Stephanie Shoja. And Alexia was like, bitch, and I'm Alexia Napola. And Stephanie says, okay, girl, you have to go like this. I'm Alexia. And Alexia's like, you think you can buy everyone with your riches? That's the jealousy part. Because, like, where did that come from? And Stephanie was like, what? She was like, I like you. But she felt offended when she called her a kiss ass. And that the only thing that she said wrong was when she called Todd trash. She says that she felt like her words were towards him and not so much towards her. But now she get it. So they decide to make amends and everything. And Alexia says that she thinks that now they'll be great friends. Absolutely not. Y'all will never be great friends. No. This thing between y'all has just began. It is not ending anytime soon. So later on that night, after a 24-hour trip to get to Seville, Lisa arrives that night. And she goes to see Marisol and Alexia. And they get to talking about how worried they were about her and asked her, like, what happened? Why were you late? And Lisa was like, that's neither here nor there. I'm here. We're about to have a good time. Like, what's good or whatever. Like, she happy. She's very jovial. But Marisol in her confessional says this is what she do. Anytime that she's wrong, she tries to like joke her way out of it or be like the fun girl to get them not to be mad at her. But I'm once again like, why are y'all upset with her? It ain't y'all that had to do all of this to get there. Like, okay, and she was late. Oh, get over it. So Alexia's like, don't you know it was rude and disrespectful to us? And Lisa was like, I'm not doing this right now. So then they go on to tell her that all the girls are really upset and really mad at her. Now, I don't know if that's very much true because we only saw her, Marisol, Alexia, and Julia saying that they were really upset. And I think Larsa, of course, had something to say, but I don't know if Adriana or Gertie did. So Lisa was like, fuck them. I don't care that they're mad at me. When they find out what's going on, they're going to feel like assholes. So that left me wondering, like, well, what happened? Did her and Jody get into it? Did something happen with Lenny? Was something going on with her kids? Like, what's going on? But I guess we won't know until tonight's episode because this is about to be the vacation from hell because everybody about to get into it, child. And I am here for it and ready. I'm gonna give episode 10 a B minus. It was a cool episode. I'm ready to see what tonight's episode is going to bring because everybody about to be arguing and fighting, child, and I am ready for it. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Miami. I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 11 recap review. Also tomorrow I will be dropping my Basketball Wives confessional looks video as well, and I'll be dropping my bedroom makeover video. It is prepared and ready to go, so check in to see how I redecorated my bedroom. I'm super excited for you guys to see that. I love you guys, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.